You're listening to the BBM Global Network with 25 years in broadcast audio and video production. Our passionate team creates content and marketing for the world of Internet Talk Radio. If you've got a passion, come join us at bbmglobalnetwork.com. The BBM Global Network. Your voice is now heard.
Hi, and welcome to Not the Blue Pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffmann, aka Hoffy from the Fire Service, and we're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. So the last few weeks we've been talking about PTSD and intervention and what it requires to actually build a pyramid. That's one brick at a time, that's one wall at a time, and until a person goes through the entire process, which neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, has been proven very effective. So it's kind of a synergy of that as well as actually reflecting on what happened. That needs to take place immediately after the incident itself. And this is why we have critical incident stress debriefing teams that are now established when we never had that kind of support, back in the day. We're just supposed to be men and get over the fact that, yeah, like I talked about what happened on Thanksgiving in 1991 as a volunteer on my days off. It was a Wednesday night. I was driving like 90 miles an hour just to keep up with traffic with thousands of other cars on the highway on a 5.5-hour trip, halfway picking up my 7 and my 5 and 7-year-old. And so anyway, what happened? My pager goes off at 6 o'clock in the morning. And we show up. I drive 4 miles up the highway, and there's my best friend, Gary West, bawling his eyes out. And he said, "Rich, it's bad. Just don't even go down there." I said, "No, I'm an EMT. I got to go down there." And I wound up putting my fingers to the pulse, the carotid, searching for a 25-year-old man, a 24-year-old woman, and a 2.5-year-old boy. And what happened was the gentleman was up all night. They left real early. They're trying to get the grandmas in time for Thanksgiving, however far away that was. 2 long straightaways. He dozed off at the wheel because of the straightaway, went right into an embankment of a sharp right turn at the end of that straightaway. Truck hit, spun in a clockwise manner, went off the edge of the road, and hit the driver's door in a tree about 10 feet above the ground. And again, how do they hang people? Do they put it on the back of the neck or the side? They do the side, right? And so I went down with not a drop of blood to a dead 25-year-old father, 25-year-old wife and mother, and a 2.5-year-old boy, in which this family that they're related to, lost a brand new family on their way on the greatest family day of the year, Thanksgiving. Now, I went through the last couple of episodes to kind of give you an idea how I prevented my fire captain from committing suicide with the 45 that he had on his hip, that he could have just gone out into 36,000 acres on one side of the freeway, another 5,000 or 6,000 acres on the other side, and with no GPS in 1991, right? What's the odds of that, right? Actually, it was 92, I think. But the point is that I had to recognize his signs and symptoms as as someone who just went through something serious. And that's where he was involved for 47 minutes, removing the members of a 25-year-old woman that it took them almost, most of an hour to remove a 5-year-old that the paramedics worked furiously to maintain her airway and circulation in a manner to keep her alive. I mean, you could literally see the hospital. It was that close. And when they finally got this poor little girl out from underneath mom's mangled body, while the drunk driver goes, "Oh, look at all the pretty blue and red lights. They have no clue, they have no clue." You want to be irresponsible, there's Uber, okay? But the thing is that you have no idea the risk you're putting others in. And again, here's another young family, eliminated, okay? Because halfway to the hospital, that little girl passed away. And because of the mental process of everybody on that department saying, if we only did this, if we only did that, if they only did the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes, well, they didn't. They responded with the equipment they had. It arrived when it did. They worked furiously. They never stopped. And when your number's up, your number's up. And that's hard to deal with, especially when you're there for the duration of time of now this little girl is so important to all these firefighters that she's like a granddaughter. She's like a little niece to these men who are volunteering to put their life on the line, And it's like, yeah, these are the most valiant firefighters on the planet. Japanese people really respect themselves far beyond this American way that, I referred to when my son was delivering food and water to a rooftop when a gentleman stole 3 days of food and water, but had to kill dad, husband of a wife, and an 8 and a 10-year-old, okay, left laying on the rooftop with brain matter and blood on them upon this assassination because someone was hungry and thirsty in the United States. And it's all about me when the Sheriff's Department is so inundated that the Navy has to intervene. The point is that all these incidents, when they occur, they occur. And until we have the opportunity to actually look, objectively at what happened. But see, when you have a fire captain that comes in every day, he knows he stole the the position from me by taking the chief out for golf and out for dinner and everything else, and wooed him until my chief said, okay, the captain's job is yours. I've been training him the last 2 years, and I've been working since 79, and here we are 13 years later with a gentleman that barely has 2 years experience, that barely meet the minimum qualifications, and he's hired. But because he knew he wasn't capable of the job, the best he could do was make me look bad. And that was ripping me a new backside every chance he got. Now, the day that he came in, 36 hours after mom's mangled body, took 47 minutes to be removed, literally in pieces, to get this poor little girl underneath, who died 5 minutes later. They didn't know for 20 minutes after the incident when they got back. But he tore up his family. And his son said, Dad, I hate you so much, I don't care if I ever effing see you again. And spent the night at a friend's place on a school night, Sunday. And here's his wife going, that's it, calls millionaire dad, his millionaire father-in-law, and he's already been, his father-in-law has already contacted his friend / attorney, and he's going to be entered first thing Monday morning. And because it was so horrific in that process, I want you to go back a couple weeks ago, okay, and really get, how severe PTSD is. And the stuff I'm going through right now is just nuts, It's like, how do you deal with this without affecting those around you? Well, Tom couldn't stop but affect me. And my coworker said, go take him out back and pummel him. Put him in his place, because every time we go to an incident, you're the one that's really in charge. Yeah, see, when you work in an office and you have a supervisor that's a clown that got, bypassed the right people just because it's not what you know or who you know, because we all have a resume, we all know the president, but it's who knows you. And who knows you and what your reputation is for them will get you in the door. Now, however, your survival is based on how much dirt you have against those around you, especially the upper echelon, like I'm going to talk about CAL FIRE today. And so what's happened, anyway, the point is that when I go in an incident and Tom's like, what do we do? What do we do? If I let them burn, who's going to burn? The victims. Can I do that? I mean, really, what is my life about but to serve others? And when you consider and you get that your happiest moments, no matter what bells and whistles you have, the car, the house, all of that, right? There's CEOs that you would die to live in their shoes, but you wouldn't want to for more than 3 seconds when you realize what's expected of him just to keep what he has, that you envy, okay? No, your greatest sense of joy is to do what? Do what? To make a difference for others.org. And that's my nonprofit that you can donate to. I've got 6 listed there. I'm going to edit it, republish it, and so forth, because I have a lot of different other, nonprofits I'm trying to support. One of them is the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation. Okay, and these are for the surviving families, after the event. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pull them up right now. My slides are really small. It's hard to see what I've got, but I hope this is right. Yes, then we are. Cool. And so, really, what's the source of joy of the founder of this organization? The fact that he makes a difference. And that's our source of joy. I mean, who are you for others that you can make a difference, that their heart lights up so that your heart lights up equally, if not more, where you're finally giving them something they need. Tom needed someone to listen to. Are you kidding me? Okay. And he was, with a 45 on his hip, he was about to just drive off and say, I am done. He's in divorce court with a millionaire father-in-law. He has his only possession, his BMW, and he has a week's worth of wet laundry in the back seat. And he spent the previous, hour and a half or whatever, hour or so, ripping me into backside 100 times worse of how to push a broom, because that was one thing he knew. But once we get on the incident, on the scene, it's like, what do we do? What do we do? And I have to take care of it. And my coworkers were sick and tired of it. They're going, man, we got screwed. We got this guy who's an animal retentive. It's all about the bells and whistles. Look at me, my bugles. I'm a badass, right? With a badge and the name tag and the patches. So what? We don't need those stinking badges. Yeah, the real firefighters, that's right. Because you know what? Because we know our source of joy. To jump in there and do what we can to make a difference for others. And then balance this incredible little deal called what? Yeah, at what point is it too dangerous? And this is where we have to pull back. And that's a really hard decision. That when we are first starting out our careers, peace officers, firefighters, we have a field training officer with us. Why? Because all we see is this little, portion of this entire incident around us. And we're dangerous to ourselves going into that. But once you get a few of those underneath your belt, you go, I can start to breathe. It's like my first show on here. I was so nervous. It was nuts. I had all these issues. And today I had all these issues. I was delayed again. My, I've got a freaking super high-powered camera that failed on me 5 minutes before my show. And when you understand what I'm exposing regarding the felony embezzlement of your public funding, and my termination from my job as a CAL FIRE lieutenant, fire apparatus engineer, graduating top of my class, 96.8%, upon answering every math question wrong. Wrong and easier. Easier, why? Because from 1974 to 1996, before Affirmative Action was abolished for the state of California, they had to secure 20% of the budget, which is federal. Who's federal? That's you, we the people. Okay, read my dialogue down below. I have the, Tom Porter is the director of CAL FIRE, thom.portr@fire.ca.gov. Let them know how you feel about what I'm about to expose, and after this next commercial break. This is not the blue pill, almost said that right. I'm Rich Hoffman, your host, and we're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. Come right back.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. You know, it feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Hi, and welcome back to Not the Blue Pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffman, and we're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. So I'm going to try the share screen option on this so that you have an idea of how I received letters of recommendation considered an asset to the department. Really, but I was terminated from the state of California upon the technicality of the State Personnel Board because I didn't work during the 12 months that I promoted from limited term after graduating, taught my class, answering every math question wrong, to pump 1/2 to 1/3 the water pressure my firefighter needs for his or her safety. And now I promote to permanent intermittent. And then I have my credentials waiting for the next year to come around. 1987 is the worst fire year in history. And we had equipment and personnel coming in from all neighboring states, which we've never done before at this magnitude, similar to what we're dealing with right now. Look at the Dixie Fire. 800-something thousand acres. We got South Lake Tahoe with countless homes that have been burned, okay, from the Calder fire that came in from the west, okay, jumped over the ridge, followed that down. I drove Interstate 50, dozens of times when I worked, when I lived less than 2.5 hours away. That was a really beautiful drive. It will recover, right? But like all this that's going on right now is just crazy. But we had a year like that in 1987, and with their need of staffing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try and go to the share screen right now, and I'm going to give you. We're just going to jump right in there, and I've got to, pardon me, pull this out of the way. So, Freddie, do you see this right now or no? Do you see the PDF, Freddie? I lost communication. You do? Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Okay, so this is a letter of recommendation that was presented a year after I was terminated in October 1, 1987, because I didn't work during that 12 months. That they brought in equipment and personnel from everywhere to support the fire efforts, the suppression efforts. Okay, and then this shows you where I was actually ranked 2, okay, as a fire captain. That Mr. Prowse decided he was going to take my chief out to dinner and so forth. This is a certification I got from, upside down there, isn't that silly? From Cal Fire, okay, upon these credentials, right? Oh, gosh darn it, I hate this. Okay, my appointment. And then I was ranked number 1 out of a class of 23. Now, never in history had they ever had only one person fail. And the person that failed was a Hispanic gentleman that barely met the minimum criteria to become lieutenant. He only worked 3 months. He only been on 12 fires, and I was supposed to lead a crew. Yeah, he self-destructed by personally failing to make sure he couldn't do the math, which I told everybody it's only worth 20% of the grade, when by law it needs to be 31% of the grade, because if you can't calculate the pressure, you can't get behind the wheel, because otherwise you're violating NFPA 1002. Okay, and this is why Tom Porter had 3 sheriff's deputies show up at Durham Fire Station in Butte County on May 10th at 4:45 last year, after I spent an hour and a half instructing on my incredible inventions that I'm going to talk about. That's the phone app, and it's a slide rule, a mechanical slide rule. There's not one in human history that can do what mine can do, because it evidences the fraud that they are teaching, a watered down method that if a cadet estimates 130 pounds of pressure, okay, 130 pounds of pressure, and you can see my score right here, 96.8, right? And Cal Fire calculates 331 pounds of pressure, but the real number is 952. We're going to get to that in just a minute, okay? Anyway, the point is that a cadet today in the year 2021 could be 820 pounds less pressure than laws of physics require for a firefighter's safety on a 2,000-foot hose lay. If they believe at 331 can go uphill an 8% grade, yeah, the 69 divided by 0.434 per foot, blah, blah, okay? I'm really good at math, okay? And so what's the point is that they had to get the affirmative action goals met, and they didn't feel that women and minorities had the intelligence to actually be taught right. This is why I've been motivated to actually create the tool, write the book, and set a record with the U.S. Copyright Office that when I called it 5 weeks, this gentleman kind of laughed at me. He goes, Mr. Hoffman, you have to realize that we're comparing transcripts, your transcript, against 245 years of transcripts. Can you give us a few minutes? He says, if we hear from us in 6 months, congratulations, you made it. Hear from us in 5, that's pretty good because now you're a first author in an area. 4 months is crazy. 3 months would be a record, tie the record. And so I said, okay, I'm humbled. I'm going to shut the hell up, right? And so what I'm talking about is this book right here, okay? And anyway, so the point is that the reason why I call it myth or math because this sets the record straight. Okay, but a week later, at 6 weeks, I got contacted by Who's Who in America for the 5th time, and I got contacted by all these publishers, well, at least one in particular. I'm going, what the heck? Why is Who's Who in America contacting me again? Okay, because they'll do that when you become a business owner, but they'll also do that when you become a patent inventor, and again, and an author. And when I was nominated, because of my becoming an author, then I actually have my own site, my own page at Who's Who in America going back to 1898 that signifies me as one of the top executives at all time. Yeah, that's real. Why? Because I wrote this myth or math, book on wildland fire hydraulics and how to pump water accurately, okay? And here's the Who's Who in America, congratulations, nomination, blah, 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 right? But anyway, so yeah, this is my copyright, okay? And yeah, it's set a record, folks, okay, in the amount of time, 6 weeks, okay? And this is Dorrance, publishing and so forth, right? I'm gonna go and scroll down through here. This is my first patent that I filed in 2001 with a mechanical a hose roller. It's 24 inches, 4.5 inches by 6 inches wide. What? It's like a lollipop, heavy-duty lollipop, right? Yet it rolls up hose 5-inch diameter, 100 foot long, weighing 125 pounds. How is that possible? Because of this design right here, okay? And then this shows me deploying the hose next to the engine, okay, in less than 12 seconds. Yeah, I've had more women, wives and sisters and mothers of firefighters that bet their firefighter dude who's been, teaching or learned how to fold and unfold, fold, a hose, go rearrange it left, right, forward, back, open up every kink to a 2-foot radius, which happens to be a 4-foot diameter, doesn't it? Gee, where do those extension arms do? It goes right to that 4-foot diameter. So all you have to do is charge it like your garden hose. How far do you have to deploy your garden hose? You don't need to, you just turn it on. Why? It's hard and round. Would you ever fold it? Of course not. Okay, well, the laws of physics that apply to a garden hose apply to a fire hose. Got it? And so anyways, this is my, I had to go back and redo my patent. That's for my hose cabinet. And then of course, this is my design right here. You lay it on the ground, you fully charge it. How hard is that? Are you kidding me? Okay, so anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump in here, but in a little bit, after this commercial break, I'm gonna go ahead and stop screen sharing for a moment. And I'm counting on that Freddie can see me and you can see me. Anyway, anyway, so this is not the Blue Pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffman, and we're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. Thank you.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
The opiate epidemic has reached crisis levels, and with so many families affected by addiction, opiate-related drug overdoses, and death, the time is now to have a real constructive conversation about addiction that could lead to better prevention, treatment, and recovery. Alan Charles, author and keynote speaker on drug abuse and prevention, presents The Alan Charles Show. Alan brings a message of hope, sharing his unbelievable story of surviving a 24-year addiction to cocaine and highlights from his memoir, Walking Out the Other Side, an addict's journey from loneliness to life. His raw honesty and courageous heart breaks the stigma of addiction and offers a unique perspective into the mind of an addict. Join Alan each week as he brings his listeners to a true understanding of the grip of addiction. It is only with this understanding that we can begin to heal. The Alan Charles Show, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network.
Hi, and welcome back to Not the Blue Pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffmann. That's timing and everything, right? And we're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. Okay, so the image to my right here, you can see is a train derailing because of the, no, it's got to go this way. I will not change, I will not change, I will not change. That results in this, okay? And this is where I make sure, this is why I emphasize every time I have a show how important it is you get your tail out to the front of the street, into the driveway, mailbox, whatever, and you inform that first engine that everyone's out. You know why? Because you made every effort to get out. But you're going to inform us, because if we have driveways, we have cars in the driveway at 6 in the morning, we're going to assume that you're where? Just like Kyle Wilson, going upstairs in a 2-bedroom, a home next door to their best friends, 2 CEOs, who have gone to school together, worked together. They're driving across town drunk every Friday and Saturday to party because of the stress they're under. And now they say, listen, let's go ahead and live like next door to each other in a gated community. And Kyle Wilson goes upstairs with cars in the driveway for the 2x4s to burn out 5 times faster. And he dies because no one came out the driveway to tell what everybody was out when everybody is out, right? But we're going to talk about gross negligence here. And I have to describe this in a manner that we really get clear on how we calculate for hydraulics, okay? Now, this scenario right here is when we fight a wildland fires, we're putting 100-foot lengths of hose in one section at a time. And I'm showing that we have 1,000 feet on the ground and we're about to go to 1,100 feet. Now, the fire apparatus that CAL FIRE has, they used to have only 1,200 feet for a Type 3 engine. You know why? Because back in the day, the 1944 coefficients, not the 2006 U.S. Forest Service San Dimas Technology and Development Center coefficients, that is a 46% error for the 1.5 inch, which is our trunk line. So what I want you to look at right here is I'm going to show you, this is, look at that line going up the side of the hill, right? I believe that's got that right. And this is what it actually looks like and the math that we're responsible for to calculate, okay, on a 1,000-foot hose lay, that we need 433 pounds of pressure on flat ground flowing 75 gallons a minute. Now, the reason why I emphasize 75 gallons a minute is because I could actually prove how to do this, to go to 1,100 feet with only 248 pounds of pressure, leaving enough pressure left over to pump the head pressure of 350 feet, which is what that illustration shows, okay? But let's look at this, okay? So the truck only produces 400, and now we have 33 pounds above that. So now we have to pump where? Yeah, it's crazy. We have to pump downhill, right? When we go to 1,100 feet, we add another lateral, and now we're not flowing just, the flow of the attack nozzle plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. As you can see, it goes 75, 85, 95, 105, 115. Are you kidding me? Okay, and now we have to count for the change of water at that first 200 feet. It's like the base of a triangle. The taller the triangle is, the bigger, the more surface area it has, it jumps exponentially. But CAL FIRE teaches a rectangle in that you can keep going. 2,000 feet is 952 pounds of pressure. Okay, I'm going to show you that in an illustration here in a minute. But this is what we actually have, where I can actually run dual lines, and in a manner that I cut the water in half, cutting the water in half and squaring that fraction 1/2 by 1 times 1/2 equals 1/4. Is that too much for people that don't like math? Please understand, this is actually the technology that the San Dimas Training and Technology and Development Center says run dual lines. And I'm showing how to do it. I'm showing the benefit. That number is 248, okay? Look down there, it says 248. And this one says what? 525, which means you have to go downhill into the flames on 26% grade, okay? So what I invented is my slide rule, okay? And the front of it, once we get to 248, I take the gauge and run it to 248, okay? And you can see that I have the slide where I actually pull this inserts out, and you know what? Okay, that's embarrassing. I don't have it with me right now. And so we're gonna focus on this gauge right here. Okay, that's a picture of my dog. I made a color vector, blah, blah, blah. And now he's the center of my gauge. I got a 248 now. What the problem is, we have these contour lines that you see that we have to count. And it's 8 times 40 is what? 320 times 0.434 is how much pressure? Well, it's 139. Are you guys slow? So am I. But I do all the math for you because I use Excel to go ahead and put this together, right? So what happens is I rotate my dial, okay, to the 350 lines up with where the gauge was originally at 248, and my needle, by rotating the ticket for the head pressure, goes right to 400. Guess what? I can pump this hose. I can do 1,100 feet at 75 gallons a minute, okay? And for the standard method, okay, this right here, right? This method right here is crazy. Okay, 525, that means going downhill 288 feet. That's almost 100 yards downhill. Okay, and then my calculation allows me to go uphill at 350, right? Are you kidding me? Okay, it winds up being 639 feet higher. I can extend the hose lay, okay, using this methodology right here. I can extend the hose lay 83% farther from normally 600-foot limitation before you run out of the 400 pounds of pressure. And I can pump uphill 639 feet higher. That's 2 football fields and another 40. Are you kidding me? Based on what? The coefficients that were discovered that the U.S. Forest Service says, wait a minute, we're burning our crews. Let's see, what did the technology we have in 1944 to get the Moody chart? It was a B-17 bomber. And we just had Sentimental Journey fly over Salem yesterday on Labor Day. I didn't make it down there, but I was too busy completing a legal brief. But anyway, the point is that now we have a B-1 bomber in 2006. Can we agree technology has improved? And yeah, so they go, why are we not pumping enough water when we have this international standard that the International Fire Service Training Association, in their latest book, 9 years, okay, after the discovery was published internationally of the 46% error, that, yeah, Mike Weeder still publishes 24 instead of 35. And it's a 67% error with the 1-inch hose. Okay, so the point is that I can actually do what's been physically impossible on this hose light right here and extend how far? That's crazy, okay? And yeah, and with 75 gallons a minute versus 60 gallons a minute, well, it's only 25% more water, right? So 15 divided into, yeah, okay, it's 1/4 of 60, right? But no, but you square both numbers, and it winds up being a 56% better knockdown that the nozzleman can actually back off. That can nozzle could back off. He only wants to flow 60 gallons a minute. And then that water pressure is available. Anyway, for other lines, right? But especially for an escape. Okay, so anyway, how is it I graduated top of my class and I was terminated the next year? We're gonna get into that, okay? Welcome to, again, this is not the Blue Pill, and I'm your host, Rich Hoffman. I'm coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. Come right back. Okay, what do I have, sir?
Have you ever felt like no one is listening, or you're not getting the honest attention you deserve? Do you even know the kind of attention you want or need? You are not alone. Alice Aspen March is here to help. Thanks to Alice, through her epiphany and research over the word attention, there are solutions to the attention dilemma. Worldwide audiences have been enthralled and engaged for over 40 years with her visionary and pioneering observations. The kind of attention we get and give is vital to improving our lives and society. Alice and her weekly guests review game-changing insights for transforming and improving our understanding of attention, providing techniques for creating healthier and empowering behavior. Get a new perspective on a mainstream word. Tune into Why Our Attention Matters for fresh and thought-provoking conversations every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on boldbravemedia.com and the TuneIn Radio app. Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Hi, and welcome back to Not the Blue Pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffman, and we're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. Okay, so we're going to talk about how this result of CAL FIRE teaching to pump 1/2 to 1/3 the water pressure, in which the math is only worth 20% of the grade, which means if you're a monkey, you're still going to be appointed. And your crew wouldn't even know that you don't even know that upon that you don't even know that you're not even trained properly, and to result in this, okay? And the problem is that we have firefighters in line today, and the worst fires in history, that are at risk of this. Upon what? Upon the fact that CAL FIRE does not want you to know as a victim, as a federal taxpayer, going back to 1974. That means your parents, your aunts and uncles and grandparents, going back who worked since 1974 at all, that 20% of the budget for CAL FIRE, California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, is because we have engines within those forest areas, like Arnold and so forth, within the Stanislaus, et cetera, right? Okay, we have Dewdrop that's in the El Dorado, okay, that was both a CAL FIRE and a Forest Service station, where at 6 o'clock, those Forest Service firefighters would go pop with a beer and go, this sure is fun, and we're on duty for free. Yeah, I was motivated at 3 in the morning to get the hell home. And that's where the Forest Service says, yeah, we can milk this, before they came up with the Fair Labor Standard Act, in which I proved a couple shows ago that a $20 an hour firefighter, $20 an hour, we're not just working 40 hours a week, people. We're working 72 with 4 days off to make time and a half times 24 hours a day. That yields what? So the $20 an hour yields $7,093 a month. How is that? Because we get the extra half time from 53 to 72 with 4 days off, and then each day that we're off, which is what's happening right now with all the fires in California, is they are paid around the clock, working 12-hour shifts, and they earn an extra $2,800 a week. 4510 times 4 1/3 is $19,534 a month. And when you're making that kind of money, you don't care about blowing the whistle on this crap right here. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you the spreadsheet that we're going to go ahead and do a share screen. It's going to take me a minute to get all these other screens out of the way so I can pull this up. It's really frustrating, but just bear with me, okay? And I'm going to pull this up, go to start sharing. Okay, and anyway, so let me get this out of the way, get this out of the way. Okay, so this is the, this shows my credentials here. Hang on a second. Okay, so this is my F step, okay, when I became a PACE 2 instructor and so forth. Okay, I'm gonna break into this, you guys. Okay, this is a letter from John Weiss. I'm just gonna talk about this for a minute. He's with Department of Industrial Relations. That's Cal OSHA, right? And he said, now on April 4th, 2016, what I did was I reported the fact that Cal Fire's teaching 331 is the same as 952. Okay, this is what 10 years after the international standard from the San Dimas Training Technology Development Center, that he was hit by Cal Fire and forced to write this letter that says what? Okay, the hazard you brought to my attention do or does not fall within the jurisdiction of the Division of Occupational Safety and Health. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, I could pee harder than my nozzle. I had no radio for the first 5 years, and when I got to the academy, on day 3, I raised my hand and said, is not friction loss a direct mathematical function of gallons per minute? And what that means is that the more water I try and force through a hose, the more friction loss occurs. It's a gallons per minute over 100 squared, which means it multiplies itself by itself, right? So it goes, if you double it, it goes 4 times worse, okay? And what happened is that this turkey right here says that what? He was so nervous when he sent me this letter, literally 8 days after my 55th birthday, where I'm suffering a $7,000 a month hit to my retirement because I should be making about 10 grand, which is what a battalion chief makes when they retire, okay? And they put what? P.O. Box 944246 in McCulmy Hill. No, see, this is a standard form letter, okay? And what happened is that the last company that was exonerated of a Cal OSHA violation was from McCulmy Hill. And this guy was so nervous to email this to me with his signature. Get over it, okay? That's his signature right there, got it? And now this guy has quit, he's gone. He was a district manager that covered the jurisdiction of the Iowa Fire Academy, and he was forced to get rid of me to say what? Look at this, guys. Okay, after careful review, really? I've decided not to conduct an investigation because, exactly, right? No investigation. See, there's no investigation, and that's going to prevent a federal investigation as to the felony embezzlement of your public funding going back to 1974 by falsely meeting affirmative action goals, by making the math under 20% of the grade instead of 31% of the grade, in direct violation of NFPA 1002, which says you shall produce an effective fire stream at the rate of flow of the nozzle, period. Good old boys do not get to drive fire trucks because they're chief's best friend, because when they show up on scene, they kill their crews at the end of the line. You shall demonstrate proficiency with job performance requirements at that capacity, and all instructors shall, under 1041, be competent in a way to teach personnel in a manner not to endanger them. And when this Cal Fire chief said, we do the whole 1,000 feet at 60 gallons a minute, we do the whole 1,000 feet at the flow rate, that's 75 for the whole deal. Okay, that's 60 for the whole deal. They calculate 86 pounds of friction loss in a 1,000-foot hose light. The real number is 231. That's an error of 145 to steal your money going back to 1974, and every firefighter making $19,534 a month every month that their days off are canceled, where they sit in a hotel, and get back on the line 12 hours later, so that they're making the money. And it's like, heck yeah, any woman's going to want to have a firefighter as a husband. Especially, or any spouse, I should say. I'm not going to delete this, okay? But any people, any person is going to love that paycheck, and that paycheck can do what? It can manipulate you, okay? That you're going to say, I'm going to keep quiet. I didn't, because firefighter safety is everything. And that battalion chief said, Mr. Hoffman, we know, you know what you're talking about, in the most derogatory manner you can imagine. Insulting me in front of 23 of my comrades, I'm about to be fired. I had 11 come from us to be the president of my class. And then he waits 7 seconds for the class to process that I'm this close to being fired. He goes, do not confuse the class. At the top of his lungs, as though he's going to lose a strike team vengeance fighting fire like you would never seen before, and there's nothing you can do about it. Anyway, we'll be right back for a short 4.5-minute session. This is not the Blue Pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffman. We're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Hi, and welcome back to Not the Blue Pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffmann, and we're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. So how much is 20% of CAL FIRE's budget going back to 1974? So a equating case means you go in secretly, they have 2 years of research, and then the party is served with only 2 weeks to respond. I didn't allow this to happen. You know why? What is 3 times 20%? 60%. The fine to the federal government is 60% of what CAL FIRE's used to fight fire for 47 years. And every instrument, that's every appointment, okay, that has been established as like the monkey to the right of me, okay, it's been, a lie that they don't even know that they've been turned into a monkey because they haven't been given the opportunity to be taught right, which is what I satisfy with my slide rule and my phone apps, okay? So the bottom line is this, is that we have a situation now that we have a equating case that I prevented, that every appointment and every timesheet and every payroll check issued is billable at $5,500 a piece times 15,000 employees working their entire career. No, we're talking collapse the American government, okay, just on that fine alone. So all I'm trying to do is expose this to you so that you have an idea of what happened. Now, go ahead and we're going to do a quick share screen right now. And so Freddie, you got this right now, correct? Okay, good. Okay, so this is December 10th, 2019. Okay, and what happened was that I submitted to the statewide Training Education Advisory Council that I caused a delay of 1 month for a quarterly meeting to go from January to February. Okay, upon my entry during that window, that the public, myself, can introduce any kind of improvement for firefighter safety. That improvement is to make the numbers right to 2006 specs, that 86 is not equal to 231 for the friction loss, an inch and a half hose lay for flowing 60 gallons a minute, 1,000 foot hose lay. Got it? Okay, now, this is the response from Eamon Shimblack. Okay, Eamon Shimblack, at the bottom of my YouTube video, I have his phone number and his email address. Okay, I want you to contact Tom Porter, the director of CAL FIRE, thom.porter@fire.ca.gov, and contact Eamon Shimblack. You can see his email address right there below me, okay? I don't have it right here, but it should be eamon.shimblack at dor.ca.gov. Anyway, so now we're down to the last 30 seconds. The bottom line is this, is you're a victim of the felony embezzlement of federal public funding, that if I filed a secret qui tam case to get 25% of millions upon billions, we're talking tens of millions of dollars, okay, stolen from you, okay? When I kept it quiet, all I'm asking is that these people are held accountable, okay? Go back to their screen there, partner, okay? That we now have the ability to take this monkey that you see to my right and actually give him the credibility he deserves to pump the water at the pressure for fire safety. That's the bottom line. That's all I ever care about, ever. Okay, so this is not the, anyway, this is not the blue pill, but we are going to do all we can to prevent the risk of this. And this gentleman only got through this window for one reason, because there was God's light coming through that window. We could actually see it, because fire is black. It's not like you see on TV. Trust me, okay, get everybody out, confirm they're out. You're a sub-supervisor to the sub-supervisor in charge of 100 people at a facility. You are going to make contact with that engine and tell them everyone's out, confirmed. And you do those evacuation drills every 6 months to make sure that we're not facing this, and that Kyle Wilson was searching and searching and searching, where all that entire family was next door weeping about losing their pictures and so forth at the sacrifice of a firefighter. And now every firefighter on scene is a danger to himself. Why? PTSD of losing a firefighter. That's the worst case scenario that you want anybody to work an emergency incident. And under those conditions, we lost it up here. Okay, we're so distracted by, oh my God, you know, it's just, it's like this alien on our face we can't get rid of. And we're still supposed to perform our duties while the world's going to hell. Okay, we got to prevent this, folks, okay? And I'm holding CAL FIRE Academy accountable, because they terminated me on a technicality, but not calling me back during the 12-month period that I was promoted. And this is it. So you guys have a wonderful week. This is not the blue pill. I'm your host, Rich Hoffman. We're coming to you live from the Bold Brave TV network. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to the BBM Global Network. The ideas, views, and opinions of this broadcast are those of the participants of the program and are not necessarily the ideas, views, and opinions of the BBM Global Network Company.